Now, you've all probably heard of mail merge, where you can create like envelopes and mailing labels and form letters for a list of names. That's been going on for decades. Well, here we can take that up a notch and actually create email mail merges. In other words, create a stock or a standard form letter, but personalize it by being able to merge any number of contacts that we have into it and actually create separate emails for each one of those contacts. It's pretty cool. It'd be something similar to what you see with some of these services out there that allow you to stay in contact with your customers by sending out personalized emails to them. And what's kind of interesting about that is that any recipient of it would not know that they're not the only one. In other words, they'll see it and it'll look like it's just addressed to them and that's it. So it makes them feel all special inside, right? Okay. Anyway, so the idea here is, how do we make that happen here? Okay. So what this involves is an integration with Microsoft Word. So Microsoft Word is going to kind of generate it for us and then spit it out into Outlook and send out the email. So you'll see how it goes along here. So it's a pretty simple thing. So the first thing we're going to do then is we're going to launch into Microsoft Word, believe it or not. So I'll get that going first here. Okay, so there we are. And what this is going to end up being is the actual body of the email. So whatever we end up putting in here is going to be in the body of the message. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here to mailings. All right, we're going to go here to start mail merge, and then we're going to go and use this step-by-step mail merge wizard. As good as you might be doing this, the wizard just makes it so much easier. You're less likely to make any kind of mistakes. So we click onto that. And over on the side here, we're going to tell it that we want to do an email message here. So we're going to click onto that. And there's nothing for us to do here, so we're going to go and hit next. All right. And all this is doing is confirming that you're going to use this as the message body. So we're just going to leave it as use the current document, which is right here. Then we'll hit next. And then it wants to know where we're going to get our names from, our recipient list. Well, in that case, we're going to be using Outlook. You can go with an existing list, and that could be like an Excel spreadsheet. You can use that as well. Kind of like what we were looking at before that we imported before. We could actually use that if we wanted to. But I'm going to instead focus on using our contacts, because that's what the whole theme has been so far. So all we need to do is we just click on the select from Outlook contacts, and then down here we'll click onto here, and this will link back to Outlook. So we'll click there, and the one we're going to use is the one called contacts. Okay, so we'll do that one there, and it has 9 people in it. Hit OK, and then this thing comes up, and this is showing you all the people that are going to get separate emails sent to them. Now, if there's anybody in here that you don't want it sent to, you can actually right now decheck who you want to take off of it. All right, we're going to send it to everybody, so we're just going to leave that on, and then we'll just go ahead and hit OK. All right, and now we'll go ahead and hit next. So now this is where we're going to actually put the message. Okay, so just imagine this being the body of your email that you normally would type your message in. Now, right at the very beginning, I want to keep this real personal, right? So I'd like to maybe at the top of the email have their actual name in there, kind of like when you say, "Hi, Bob," and then you type the rest of your message. So what we can do is we can go here and we can click on to insert field right here. And we're going to tell it that we want the first name, just like that. And then I'll put a comma in there. So it'll be like Bob, comma, right? And then enter. and then you just put the rest of your message in there. So now, just to create some realistic text, I'm going to show you a little trick here. So in case any of you are looking to maybe generate some text, either in an email or in your word processor to kind of practice with it, what you can do is you can type in a macro. And this is something that Microsoft has built into every one of the programs for you to be able to generate. So what happens here is if I type in something like 4, comma, 4, okay? What that means is I'm going to generate 4 paragraphs of text, each with 4 sentences. That's pretty cool. So I just type that in, enter it, and there I go, okay? And then I'll just pretend on the bottom, I'll put in here like sincerely. I can type in, Chip Rose. There we go. All right. Pretty neat. That's all we got to do. All right. So then we'll go ahead and hit next. All right. And you can see that it's giving us a recipient number 7. It's showing Lorraine there. So that's what it would look like for her email. And then as I hit this arrow, this chevron here, you can see it go through all the other people. So now to go backwards here. And there's Andre and so forth. So they're all in there. And then eventually we get down to just being students, right? Because that's what we had for names. But we had some real names in there. So it just gives you an idea of which ones. Now, if you come across one, and you say, oh, maybe like this one here, you don't want that to be in this particular merge, you can say exclude this recipient. And it would have been just like you'd gone in there before and dechecked that one, right? But we're gonna merge them all. So this is good. And then all we have to do is we click on the next. All right. And then we click on to electronic mail. In the to area, the to is going to be the email address, right? And so, in other words, in the to of each of the emails, we're going to get the email from the email address, right? And then the subject line will be, we'll just call this one testing the merge, okay? That'll be the universal subject line. And that's it. And then you go ahead and hit OK. There we go. Now, you'll see it kind of run through. It went there pretty fast. And then we'll go back. I'm going to pull this out of here so you can see that. And now you can see that we're back here in Outlook. And if I go to my sent items, okay, you'll see them generated. See, they're just going one after the other there. See? So there's the Andrea, okay, so Andrea's a real address. She's going to get that, so she'll wonder what happened with that. Anyway, so if I go ahead and open up any of them, just to see what it looks like, right? That's it. So that's what when they get this email message, it's just going to have their name on it in the to area. It's going to be personalized with that, with their first name there, and then sincerely yours and all that stuff, right? And if you look at any of the other ones, here's Lorraine, same thing with Lorraine. So that's what they're going to see. So that they have no idea that they were a part of a merge, which is pretty cool. So I recently changed my my email address and so forth, and a few other things with the company. So I did one of these merges to all of my customers, all right? And letting them know, that things were changing and that they needed to update their address books with my new email address, and that really came in pretty handy. So a lot of good uses for it. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you can maybe start using this feature. I appreciate you watching the video. Take care.